Am I live? Ah, yes, I am. Am I live? How do I enable the chat? Does anybody know how to? Let me see on stream health. Yeah, everything's fine. Oh well, screw it. Hi everyone. My name is Crash and Burn. First live stream ever here on YouTube. If if um, if you're there watching, I want to say thank you for watching. What we're gonna do today is an IFR flight from Coruña Airport in the northwestern part of Spain in Galicia, which is right over here. And we're gonna go all the way to Santander, which is right over here. So I got some pretty cool scenery, and we can take a look at this whole scenery right here. This north part of Spain is it's actually a very pretty coast. It's very nice to look at. So I want to start by actually preparing. The flight's going to be IFR. We're going to be flying with no traffic. We're not going to be on VATSIM today. I just want to really get into the IFR part of the flight and how I usually go about, starting when I do whatever flight. How I start planning my my routes and looking at the charts and such and all that. So first thing we need to figure out. Let's actually bring out the flight plan here. And I wish to God that I knew how to enable the chats on YouTube. I mean, I feel like such an idiot because it says the chat is disabled for this live stream, but I went to the settings and I cannot find a setting for enabling the chat, and I can't ask you guys to give me some answers on that because the chat's disabled. So oh well, I'm just gonna wing it, guys, for today. I hope that you like this video, and if you do, please give me a thumbs up. This is my first ever video, and if I see that people like this, and then I'll start making more. That's what the plan is. So anyway, let's get into it. Gonna close here my other tab. Okay, so what you guys should be seeing here is Sky Vector. What we're gonna do here is on the departure airport, we're going to put in La Coruña Airport, which is Lima Echo Charlie Oscar, and we're gonna be flying to LEXJ, which is Seve Ballesteros Santander Airport, right over here. Now, the first thing I usually do is check my weather, and that's gonna give me the runway I'm gonna be taking off from, and that's from that I can choose the SID to depart, and then I also take a look at the weather at the arrival airport, and from that I can kind of see what a runway I'm gonna be expecting, and from that choose the appropriate star and approach. So got active sky here. I already got LECO plugged in. Winds are coming Surface winds are at 350 at 5 knots, so they're coming from the north pretty much, like this. Okay, and one thing I need to do is I'm gonna bring up the airport charts. For Coruña and for Santander. So A Coruña is the first one here. A Coruña pretty much has two runways, runway 03 and runway 21. My flight sim right now, I actually have I just have the default airport, which I have ORBX Vector, and when I did the nav aids update, it couldn't update the runway headings as it usually did, because Vector sits on and Open Europe LC sits on top of that, so it didn't touch the default airport for La Coruña. So in this airport you have runway 4 instead of 3, but for this video, for the purposes, we'll be all right. We'll just, runway 4, runway 3 in reality for us is runway 3 in reality for us is runway 4. So we just need to keep that in mind. Back to the charts. So, okay, the wind says it's coming from the north. So what I have to do is the runway, which I'm pretty much gonna be taking off from, is gonna be runway 3. That's the one that points like that to the north. Runway 21 points this way. So from that, I can go here to my charts, and I'm gonna pick the SID. I'm gonna bring up my SID right here. I'm gonna open it in a new tab. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, so this is the departure for La Coruña Airport. You can see over here, for runway 3, we have the 403D, Coraf, Megat, and is here. I'm gonna be using the Roxer 3C, excuse me, Roxer 3D departure. Okay, this one here. That's this one here. Why am I gonna pick that one? Because if I go over to Sky Vector, okay, you can see that over here we have waypoint Roxer, okay, right over here, and the chart, that's where we want to be, because it puts us right into a good it puts us really into a good heading, so we can get on this R42 airway here. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make our flight plan here to Roxer, and Sky Vector is pretty good with this. It usually picks the runway, the SID for us. It's choosing the Roxer 3D, and that's the one we want, the Roxer 3D. Okay. After that, we're gonna get on this airway here, the R42, and we're just gonna be on the R42 until we get out. We need to get out somewhere here. We need to figure out what the star is gonna be for Santander. Okay, and I think the star is gonna start right here at waypoint Obedo, right here, but we're gonna take a look now and confirm that. Let's find this airport, Santander. Should be this one. So here we have two stars. We know there's two runways, 11 and 29. What's the difference between these two files? Well, one's not available and the other one is. So we're gonna go with this one. Okay, and this looks complicated as hell, but I promise it's really not. Here you see the waypoint Obedo, and you have all the different stars, rivals for the two runways. So we got to figure out what runway to expect now over there at Santander. So we're gonna go into our active sky next, and I'm going to put in the airport LEXJ, and it's cloudy there. Winds at 60 at 5 knots. So the wind is coming from an easterly direction. So it's coming like this. Okay. Now there's runway 29 points to the south. Okay, and runway 11 is gonna point like this, and that's probably the runway that we're gonna be taking. Excuse me just a second. Okay, just making sure everything's good with the stream. So we're probably gonna be expecting to land on runway 11. Now we got to figure out which one of these stars we would like. Okay, if we're coming here at Obedo, then we have this Obedo 2A here. Is it Obedo 2A? No, it's actually Obedo 4G to land on runway 11. So we need to follow this Obedo 4G for golf. Okay, coming this like this. Straight to this VOR right here, which is Santander VOR. Then what's it saying? It's telling us to go this way. Okay. 111 heading off this VOR here. Okay. And then when we get to this waypoint here is we'll do like a loop-de-loop like this, and we'll get onto the into that ILS. So we're gonna be coming like this. Okay, hit that VOR, then change course again, and go all the way to this waypoint here, and then we'll do, this is holding pattern, I guess. I'm not too knowledgeable on holding patterns. It's still something that I need to practice and figure out a little more. Those you know, when you come into a situation like that, what is it that you're supposed to do? I know that you're supposed to, you know, time yourself for a minute or something like that in each doing each leg and just hold, but I haven't had any experience doing it. So we're gonna go like that, and then I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it, but this is how I do it. I come over here and I do a loop. I come back to this waypoint here, and then I just establish myself on the ILS. All right. The other chart we're gonna need is the ILS chart for runway 11, if they have one. And they don't have an ILS for runway 11. No, wait a minute. Am I looking at this all wrong here? Yeah, I am. This is actually runway. The what I just described is actually runway 29, which is pointing that way. So everything I just said is invalid. We want to run on runway 11. So what we want to do is take the Obedo 4G this way. This still says, okay, this doesn't say Obedo 4G. This is what confused me here. Let me zoom in a little more. Okay, we can do the Obedo 4 Hotel. Once we get to Obedo, we take the Obedo 4 Hotel, which is this one here for runway 11, which puts us here, and then we can make a straight in approach. Let me put my phone on silent. So we'll do that, yeah, and that puts us into more of an approach, and it won't be an ILS, but that's okay. It could be a VOR approach, which is probably the one I'm gonna pick. So I have that one here. I have that here open. Let me open up this one. Great, the VOR is not available for runway 11. Then we have the NDB. It's not available. Okay, this is like a visual one. Yeah, we'll just do the visual into runway 11. So we'll open up this one on a tab. And we said we wanted the Obeto 4 hotel, so we've got to plug that in. So we're going to Obeto. Plan that. It chose Obeto 4 hotel for us already, so I'm guessing that we I don't know if it does that automatically, if it knows the winds and stuff, Sky Vector, and it does that automatically. But this is pretty much going to be our route. Okay, taking off from La Coruña, the Roxor departure, get onto R42 airway, and do the visual approach to runway 11 into Santander. Next thing I like to figure out is what our cruise is going to be, our cruise altitude. And for that, I like to look at windy. Windy.com. Sorry about that. Text message for my boss. Won't leave me alone. What I like to do to figure out the altitude is come over here to windy and look at all the winds. As a default, they have the winds at surface level, so we can kind of get a rough estimate of where the winds are gonna be from at our departure and at our arrival, if anything, and if nothing changes. Okay. I think we're gonna have a slight crosswind on arrival, but we'll see when we get there. The next thing I like to check out is now to fly in this airway here, you need to fly at least flight level 190. Okay, that's 19,000 feet. So that's as far as I know, that's a minimum to go onto this airway here to the R42. So let's take a look at flight level. Okay, 180 is the closest to 190, so we'll take a look at this. And if I go over here and look at the winds, 14 knots there, 14 knots, 13, all coming from the south too, so it's gonna be like a crosswind the whole way. Let's move it up a bit. Let's put it here and move up the flight level. Next flight level is 240, and that's a lot more, isn't it? 19 knots, 17, 24 knots here. It's gonna be bumpy there. It's a shame we can't go at flight level 140. I mean, we could, you know. Screw it, we're just gonna go dead on at flight level 190. I think that way we abide by the airways restrictions, and we don't have as much wind as flight level something in between. So flight level 190 is going to be our best bet. Okay. With that being said, I think we have everything now to. I like to keep these charts in order as I reference them. We'll take one last look at the departure. The departure, we're looking at taking off, maintaining runway heading, and when we get to 800 feet, we'll start making a right to heading 076. We'll maintain 076 until we intercept this course here. The 107-degree radio from La Coruña VOR. Okay, that's this one here. And that'll bring us all the way over here to Roxor, which is 43 nautical miles away from LRA, which is this one here. Now, what I'm gonna do as I jump into the aircraft, I have the GTN 750. I'm gonna use that to plug in our flight plan, and I'm gonna be using it as a visual reference. But I like to navigate by using the radios to make it a little bit more fun. Yeah, so the first thing we're gonna do is put some fuel in the aircraft. Fuel and payload, change fuel. 50% for this is a whole nother topic, fuel consumption and all that. I just know from experience that with 50%, we're gonna have plenty to get to where we need to get to. Okay, 50%. We'll be flying with the Beechcraft. Well, let me show the airplane first. This is the Duke V60 Turbine. Okay, it's a pretty good looking aircraft. And it's actually very fast. We can probably get over there in half an hour. I'm guessing the trip is gonna take half an hour, 45 minutes actually. I know that the aircraft averages a speed of 180, and we're gonna be flying at flight level 190, we said. So the estimated time, an hour and 15. I think I can get there faster, but okay. Okay, so let's start the aircraft. This aircraft comes with a handy checklist in this knee board, which I actually do like and like to start using. So before starting this one, I don't need to do this one because the aircraft is already in this state. So pretty much all these things are gonna be already set. Okay, so it'll be redundant for me to go over all of these. So we're just gonna go jump right into starting the engine. And first things first, right ignition switch set to on. Right ignition annunciator check illuminated. I don't see where that is. Oh, we need to turn on our battery. Okay, it's illuminated. Next one is starter on. We're gonna wait for this to get to 12%, and then we're gonna apply a little bit of mixture. That's loud, isn't it? And I didn't put my parking brake on. So embarrassed. I think the FSX sound is drowning me out. Let me see if I can do something about that. Let's open up the mixer. Is that better? Is that better? 1, 2, 3. Get over here. Yeah, that's way better. Alright, there's something we forgot to do. I had the parking brake on. I totally forgot. Maybe I should have done this checklist. That's a good lesson right there. You know, you can never assume anything. What I just did now, I could have just killed someone, you know, if it was in real life. But we're over here. Our condition lever is set to idle. Yeah, our ignition switch is auto now. Okay, and the generator set to on. And then they tell me to put the generator switch back off again. Okay, and then for the left engine, we're just going to repeat the process again. This should be down. So on, starter on, 12. Did it start? Man, I'm messing this up terribly. Why is it all the way up like that? What is going on? What the... What the hell was that? I had my parking brake on. Why did it spin me around like that? I guess we're up and running. I guess the reason why I was spinning around like that is because this side of the engine was at full power and the other one wasn't, and I don't know why it was at full power. I was not applying power, that much power at any time, so I don't know what went on there. I feel like the sound is drowning me out. Still way too much. It's a little bit better. All right, let's just keep going. I messed that up. I messed that up big time. Inverter switch set to on. We can turn on the master switch. We forgot the lights as well. We forgot everything. So the beacon light, taxi light is on. I'm gonna open up the oil doors because in this aircraft, the you gotta keep a close eye on the oil temperatures. You can't let them get too hot or the engines will quit on you. Okay. I'm hoping to do this by the book from now on. See how it goes. Okay, one thing I forgot to do here is to put my flight plan in active sky. And what this does is it just allows me to check on the ATIS at the arriving airport. Okay, with that done, let's go ahead and set up our GTN. Let's set up our flight plan. So we're going to LECO-LEXJ. We're going to be selecting the Roxer 3D departure at runway 3. Okay, this is what we looked at earlier right here, and we're going to load that. After Roxer, we're going to load in the airway the Romeo 42, and we're going to exit at Obeto. Okay, and then when we get to Sebe Ballesteros in Santander, we'll load the procedure. I'm not entirely sure. I think I went too fast because I was looking at the wind here at Windy T at the surface winds before, and there's a very light wind, but it's saying the wind is coming like this from the north. And our active sky, it said it's coming from 60, so it's coming like this. So we did choose the right runway. Okay. All right, I was worried about that, but we did good with that. We don't need this anymore. Close that. So the arrival is going to be, we said it was the ORBX 4 hotel, this one. Load arrival. And the approach, it's going to be visual runway 11. Load approach. It's fine. So now we can take a look at our, at least in the GTN, I have the right runways selected. And I have this map up, but you can see that here is our route. Okay. And this is later on when we're at cruise. It's also going to be able to tell us the when to start our descents as well, because it has this VNAV thing. It's saying we need to be at above 080 over Obeto. Let's see what the chart says, because it could be different. You know, if we want to follow the charts. If we want to follow the chart says that, yeah, we have to be at flight level 80 when we get to this point. Okay, so that's going to help us. Using the VNAV on the GTN is really going to help us decide when to start our descent. So that's going to be important later on during cruise. Now I'm going to keep this here on this page for now. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is set up our radios and set up the autopilot, which I'll do the autopilot first. We're going to go up to flight level 190. There. We'll arm that. And I'm going to tell it I'm going to tell it to climb initially at an altitude of 2,000. For this aircraft, from my experience, that's a good climbing altitude. It can go 3 without a doubt. But then if it goes too steep, it doesn't get enough airflow to the engine and intakes, and it's really hard to keep the oil temperature in the green. So that's why I like to keep it at 2,000, maybe 2,500. We'll see when we start climbing. And I just changed the altitude, not the vertical speed. Mistake after mistake in this video. There. Did I just do the same thing again? We'll do the I don't think you can do the vertical speed here when you're on the ground, so we'll just do it when we right when we take off. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. Okay. All right, next. Next is going to be the radio. Now I can take off and I can put the autopilot on and I can follow the GPS, and we can call it a day. But I think it's more interesting and it's more of a lesson if I navigate by these needles here, which I like to do. I think it's more fun. So to do that, I'm going to look at our charts once again. And by looking at our charts, I can see that the first radio that I'm going to need is this one. it's going to be the La Coruña VOR, which is 115.10. Okay. So I'm going to set that in right now. 115.1. I'm going to transfer that. Okay. And over here you see that when I get to 800, I'm going to turn. I'm going to use the heading bug to turn to a heading of 075, 076 according to the chart. And then the first radio I want to intercept is the 107 radio. So I'm going to put that on here right now. Let me just turn this to VLOC. Yeah. So I'm going to change the HSI course indicator to 107. And I'm going to put the heading bug for runway heading, which is 3. Okay. So that's the first waypoint. All right. Now what we can do is actually put the second radio on standby. The second radio we're going to need is if we come over to Sky Vector. Okay, first radio is going to help us get to here, to Roxer, and then we're going to need to tune into this VOR here so we can get here. And this VOR is the 112.4. 112.4. So I'm going to put that on standby. 112.4. Enter. That's on standby. I'm going to actually put it on my radio 2. Okay, so that's on the second radio, which is this HSI this gauge over here, and the radio that we want to follow to that VOR is 072. So I'm going to put 072 on this one. And I just do this for reference because it helps me remember when I actually get to that point that I need to turn. I'll know I'll need to put this on this radio, on radio 1. It just helps me remember all these things. What did we say? 072. 072. Okay. Okay, now that that's set, we need to set our barometric pressure, and we're gonna do that by tuning into the ATIS. So ATIS is at 122.0, and we're gonna listen. Okay, so QNH is 1007, so we're gonna plug that in here. 1007. And let's see what the rest says. Weather wind 002 at 5, visibility 10, which is really good. Clear temperature 15, 2.11. Okay. Okay, with that we're set. We're good to go. Let me see what all these warning lights are from. The engine door is open, good. Left engine inoperable, right engine inoperable. That can't be good. That cannot be good, man. This should be on gen, by the way. This should be auto and this should be auto. Did it go away? Yeah. Okay. I wish I could redo that start sequence, but it's a funny moment. No doubt. And I guess it's because I'm nervous, man. It's my first YouTube video. I'm here live, you know. It's overwhelming sometimes. So yeah. Okay, so now I think we're all set. We're ready to taxi. Okay, so normally what we do at this point is I have no air traffic enabled, so I'm just gonna skip the part about talking to the tower. Okay. So what we need to do here is we're already spinned to taxi. This here is runway 3, the runway we need to take off from. So we're gonna go ahead and taxi over yonder, over this way. And let me take a look at YouTube to make sure everything is just running fine and I am not talking to myself here. Everything seems to be running fine. All right, let's get going. To taxi, I just put the condition lever to 50 and just leave it there for the whole flight. To taxi, that gives us enough power to taxi with no problem. So we release the parking brake. I have ORBX, OPENLC, ORBX Vector, ORBX Global, ORBX Trees. Got the whole thing, man. Looks quite good too. I also got a mesh because all that stuff comes without a mesh. So there's a lot of you can really tell, you know, the mountainous regions, and it all looks really, really good from above. This thing's going fast. Hit the brakes a little bit and turn this down. All right, here we would stop, you know, yada yada. One thing we need to do though before entering the runway is to put our landing lights on, our strobe lights on. And we're gonna backtrack because there's no way to get to the other side of to the beginning of runway 3. So we would look, you know, in reality, if we were to do this in real life, look for traffic. But, you know, there's no traffic turned on for this video, so. This is the speed you should be taxiing at. You're going slow. Taking off, I'm gonna put first notch of flaps. Doing that now. We're also going to turn on the fuel pumps. We're not gonna veer off the runway. And we're looking for 90 knots at takeoff. And then on the climb, I'm looking to maintain a 120 knot climb, which is roughly 2,500 feet. Brake first, then turn. This is fine. We got plenty of runway. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is we're looking for NG90 for takeoff speed. In this airplane, you don't really need to do full power. So what we do first is we're gonna rev up the engines to 2200 RPM at first, and then we'll release the parking brake, and then we'll gently add power up to NG90. So here we go. Excuse me. Everything is good to go, I think. We're probably missing some other things, but I wanted this video to be, you know, on the money as far as procedures and such. But that whole thing that happened starting up the engine, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna rev up the engine to 2200 RPM. Our trim is set to just the way we like it. So it's 21, 22, release the parking brake, and now gently add power. I'm trying to get to NG90, that's way too much. Pretty easy to lift off the ground. Bring back our power, try and get to that NG90 mark. Okay, that's fine for now. Passing 700 feet. 800 feet. We'll take out the flaps. Put our landing gear up, which I forgot to do. And then we can start our turn to heading 076, was it? 076, I believe. And we're just going to keep it there. Actually turn on our autopilot to help us control our altitude. 2000 RPM. 076. Heading. Turn the yaw damper on, and we're looking to intercept now this the radio. So when we see this intersecting, that's when we want to do. That's when we want to do our nav hold. Okay. So right now we take a look at engine temperatures, which are hard to see. Always a pain in the ass. 67. We're good on that. We're going to reduce the propeller a little bit. I like to bring it down to 90%. Okay. We gotta watch this because this is gonna come up pretty soon. This is the GPS line. This is the actual radio we're flying, so we're a little bit off. That's fine. Show a little bit of scenery. Yeah, man. Transition altitude here in Spain is actually 6,000 feet. Okay, so at 6,000 feet, we need to switch our altimeter to standard QNH, which is 1013. We're passing it now, so we're going to do that. There you go. And also we can turn off now the landing light. Strobes we keep on. We can turn off the taxi lights as well. We're going really fast for this climb of only 2,000, but that's okay. I'm actually going to quicken our ascent to flight level 190. And I'm going to reduce power a little bit. There. Alright, so this needle here, as you can see, it's starting to come alive. It's getting to the middle, so I'm going to turn us to this heading here, the 107. Try and get us on the on that radio before I hit the nav button. Passing 10,000 feet. Need to catch up to it. Just turn us here to the right a little bit. Okay, and that's in the middle now, roughly. So I'm gonna hit the nav button, and the airplane's gonna follow this the radio signal to this bearing that we have set here. And yeah, looking at our radio information, it says that we're 10.3 miles away from the VOR. Remember, Roxer was 40 something miles away. Roxer was 43 nautical miles. So we'll know that we're at Roxer when we reach 43 here. And now we're going way too steep. Gonna add some power because we're going really slow. All right. Now we can turn on our prop sync. Actually, weather outside is negative 11 degrees, but I don't see that much humidity, so we're gonna leave the pitot heat off for now. Passing flight level 15. Okay. Here, what's cool about this is that later on it'll actually tell us our top of descent, and we'll be able to you know, to decide when to start our descent. So that's pretty cool. And you can see now that we're not following GPS and we're pretty much on the money. I'm gonna check out the stream for a little bit, see if everything's working fine. Yeah, everything seems to be working still. Nobody's watching, but hey, gotta start somewhere. Gotta start somewhere, man. All right. About to reach our target altitude of flight level 190. Here we go. We're leveling. And now that we're leveled, we're going to bring it back a little bit. Check that oil temperature. 71. 71. I'm going to put these to half close now. We're managing 224 knots on the ground, which is really good. And yeah, and now we play the waiting game. We have to wait till we get to 43 nautical miles, and then adjust, tune our radios to switch our radios and tune into the next VOR. One thing I forgot to do was set our cabin pressure, but this is actually not simulated, so I always forget to do this. I'd like to keep it here at 180 if it's possible. That's pretty steady. So yeah, I'm not gonna do much talking now. Just enjoy the flight, and I'll be back. I'll be back when we reach this point here of 43 nautical miles, which is Roxer here. Roxer. Then we'll be turning, and we'll be getting onto the Romeo 42 airway. Should be quick. Should be quick. It's 8 o'clock here in Madrid. It's where I live, in Spain. And at 8 o'clock, people get out and clap because of the, with this whole coronavirus thing. People get out and clap the healthcare workers, It's pretty cool. Just to be safe, I will turn on the pitot heat, because I don't want that thing freezing up and not knowing how fast I'm going. It's very scary. We're almost there. We're at 37.8 nautical miles. The reason why I put it Also on the next radio frequency, I put it here on nav2 because you could actually see when we're about to intersect that course. So by looking at this, we know when to turn to get it on this radio. Next radio is going to be 72 degrees. So what I like to do is I always like to go to heading mode. So I'll get ready and put us here at this heading. We're at 108. So I'll put 108. I'll flip over to heading and then I'll readjust the indicator to 72 degrees, and then I'll go back to nav again. And I'll do that once this is centered. Nav 2 is centered. I hope you guys are, you know, it took me a while to figure all this stuff out. I've been on FSX for quite some time, and a lot of the times I didn't know, or there was no resources out there. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, but never quite. There's not a lot of things telling you how to navigate by radios, you know, which I think is super cool. Instead of just hitting the GPS switch. All right, so you could see we're way past 43 nautical miles, so we're going to turn, we're going to hit the heading indicator, we're going to turn to 072. And now our indicator as well, 072. 072. And you can see that it's to the right. We missed it because I was talking. So we just want to go in this direction for a little bit until we get back on it. And then we'll hit nav one more time. And then we'll know we're in the next VOR when this hits 0, right? Because now we're going to the VOR, not from it. Come on. Should be coming up to it. Oh man, I forgot to switch the radios. Jesus Christ. We were still on the other VOR. Alright, so let's actually get back on track here. I was wondering why that thing wasn't moving. The comment section is going to have a field day with me. Let's get back on it. Get back on that highway in the sky. Doing zigzags, man. We're fine though. We have plenty of time till we get there. Remember, those winds we saw at this flight level are coming from this direction here. So they're actually pushing us over this way. And I think that's why it's so hard. I think that's close enough. I'm gonna hit nav, and it's gonna get on that radio again by itself. There we go. All right, let's check if everything's in the green. Torque, it's good. ITT, good. NG, that's fine. Prop is a little high. Let me turn that down to 2,000 even, if I can get it. It's close enough. And our engine temps are still good. Cool 70 degrees. It's not bad. All right. And now we're just waiting to hit this VOR here. And what we can do during this time is set up our next radio, which is going to be this one here. So we'll take a look at the charts again. See the R42 goes straight into this radio here. So we're going to put that into our nav2 115.3, right? Yeah, 115.3. And that's going to be the 094, 095, the 095 radio. So I'll put that on my VHF NAV2 course, 095. That way we're set up for the next leg. Now here's our altitude that we need to be at when we're at this waypoint here, Obedo, which is the start of our arrival. Okay, 080. Let's see if it shows the top of descent. No, it doesn't show it. Yeah, I wonder why. Utilities, Obedo. It shows it here. Obedo flight level. Maybe it hasn't activated yet. We'll get into that as we come closer to that point. But yeah. What we can do also is, because I've put the flight plan and the arrival and the departure airport into active sky, we can actually get some really cool. If we tune to 122.02. Okay, what that? All right, shut up. 122.02 tells us the arrival information, the airport arrival information, which we can see right now. There's winds coming from the 050 at 4 knots. Visibility is good. Sky ceiling, there's a few clouds at 2,800. Overcast ceiling, 2,800. Overcast temperature, so there is some overcast at 2,800. Which for a visual approach, I'm not really digging it too much. But we'll do what we can. QNH over there is 1007. We'll take a look at this once we start getting closer to that arrival information. And I believe 122.05 gives us like winds aloft and stuff like that during your travel. You got the idea. The thing I actually want to look at also is the map here to see if there's any precipitation. There's a bunch of clouds here. It's going to be interesting. Visibility here is going to be interesting indeed. .3 nautical miles away. Almost sunset time. So yeah, guys, I'll just leave it here, and I'll be back when we start getting when we're over the VOR in 15 nautical miles, approximately 3 minutes. Okay, 5 miles away. Looking for this intersection, for this line here to get here to the middle. And then we'll go over to 095, which I can plug in here. We just flew over. So I'm actually going to go into heading mode. I'm going to switch radios this time. 115.3. And we overflew it by a little bit. We're still like really close, so yeah, we're gonna fly in this general direction until we it should be 095. I'll hit nav. Okay, now we're on this this radio here coming from this VOR. And it says we're 86 nautical miles away. And what we need to figure out now is when is it that we get to this point, you know, without looking at the GPS. And to do that, we're gonna go back to here to our charts. This we can close, we don't need to sit anymore. Obedo is 18.9 miles away from this VOR here, okay, which we're already tuned into. So we'll know we're here when we're 18.9 away, and then we're gonna have to make a 061 heading here till we intersect this COLAX. And COLAX is 13.9 away at this radio here. This is fascinating stuff. So we got a long ways to go still till we get to Obedo. But we actually need to figure out our top of descent. I don't know why it's not showing. Let's see if I can actually activate it here in the GPS. Not showing. I wonder why it's not showing. Cancel that. It's weird. Okay, so let's do this the old-fashioned way. All right. We're at flight level 190. We need to go to flight level 080. So that's a difference of That's a difference of 10,000, 11, no. Yeah, it's 11, it's a difference of 11,000 feet. It's a difference of 11,000 feet. So we need to lose 11,000 feet. Now, if I put a descent vertical speed of 1,000 feet per minute, we'll lose 11,000 feet in 11 minutes. And we get to our next waypoint at 18 nautical miles. We get to the VOR, not the, remember the Obedo is at 18 nautical miles. So I'm going to start my descent when I'm about 15 minutes away. I think that's safe. So when I'm 15 nautical miles, when there's a 15 here, that's when I'm going to start a vertical descent to flight level 08 at 1,000 feet per minute. I think I should get to Obedo at 080 with plenty of time. Like that. Let's take a look outside. This is the north part of the north coast of Spain, which is really pretty. It's very mountainous here, all along the coast. That's 15. I'm going to start my descent. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to ease off on the power. And go to 8,000. Oh, what are you doing, man? $8,000, and I'll do 1,100 just to be safe. 1,100 feet per minute. And we don't need to actually change the barometric pressure yet because we're still above transition altitude in Spain. Transition altitude in Spain is 6,000, so we're gonna be at 8,000. So we still need to keep QNH at 1013. At least I think that's how it is. I would love to see comments if if I'm not doing things the right way. I like to know how to do them in the right way. And there's a lot of stuff that I really don't know. So any tips or suggestions, they're more than welcome on the comments section. Let me just look at the charts here. Flight level 8,000. Then at COLEX we need to be at or above 4,000. And that's when we'll take the 292 to this VOR. which is the 112. Okay, it's the 112, and that'll probably put us on a straight to runway 111. If we take a look at the visual approach, one 3 6 3 miles away from what? 3 miles away from this? From FAF LNAV? What's FAF LNAV? I'm still rusty at reading plates, especially these visual approach ones. IAF Norway, which is where? Here. This is Norway here. So we need to be at 4,000 there. We have to keep that in mind. And then our next waypoint is this here, which is, I'm guessing that's the VOR? IFXJ07. I think that's one of those RNAV things that I'm not entirely too sure on. What I do know is that I'm gonna plan, just check if everything's good here. Yeah, we're approaching Obedo fast. We're approaching it fast. One thing I do know is that I'm going to be at 1,400 feet. Here, there's probably like a DME or something that I'm missing. I'm pretty sure this is the VOR. Yeah, this is the VOR. So this is when we're 3 nautical miles away, 6 nautical miles away. And when we're past it and we're 4.2 nautical miles away. Yeah. The thing is this, to go to this VOR, we need to take this 112 radio coming from this VOR. And then we'll probably just see the runway, so I'm not worried too much about it. If we see the runway, because that weather that we saw earlier. Let's check it out. I think we're gonna be fine, because if I need to be, you know, at above 1,800, at or above 1,800 feet, and the weather is the clouds are 2,400 broken, 2,900 overcast, ceiling 2,900, we'll be way below that, so I think we'll be fine. $12,000, 4,000 to go. I think my calculations were pretty much dead on. We'll see. After Obedo, I'm gonna descend to. Let's see what we're gonna do. After Obedo, we're gonna descend to 4,000. Get on the 061. At Obedo is 18.9 from the VOR. Then get on the 061. So I'm gonna actually get on the on my heading. I'm gonna put on the 061. can get that out. 061. And then we're gonna intercept the 112. So the 112. Okay, that's set. Then it's pretty much straight in, you know, while you descend. Not that hard. Shouldn't be that hard anyway. One thing that's not jiving with me is Albedo is supposed to be 18.9 nautical miles from here. Yet we're coming up to it fast and we're still 34.4. No, I guess it's right. Just gotta trust it. Got the mountains peaking up and sunset going. Albedo, distance 12.5 miles. That makes sense. Let's grab that QNH from 1008. To keep that in mind. Looking good. We're looking good. Temperatures looking really good. For this aircraft, I like to keep the oil doors open half for the whole flight, or they just get really hot way too easily. Had the engines actually like just quit on me during mid-flight. That didn't end well. I had no idea what to do. Emergency procedures and whatnot. There's that cloud cover they were talking about, that overcast. Yeah, that's at 2,900 feet. Outside air temperature is 5 degrees. We're gonna keep our pitot heats on for now while we go through this layer here. We are approaching 18 nautical miles. Is it 18? 18.9. At that point, I will activate the heading bug to heading 6-1. See if the wind changed. So one thing I forgot to do is we reached flight level 080 already, and we're slowing down massively. So I'm just gonna add some power. That's enough. And wind is still 040 at 4. 040. So it's a slight crosswind when we land at runway 11. $21.1 gigawatts. $18.9. At which point we could also start descending to flight level 4,000 feet, that is. You can see we're almost there. $18.9, there it is. Heading bug, and we're down to 4,000. And now we do need the QNH, which was 1008. 1008. Going the wrong way. $1008 there. We'll turn on the landing lights. And now we're looking to intercept the 112, which is this one here. Flight level 4,000. 4,000. Next flight level is 1,800. And we're in the clouds. And we're about to intercept. And it just got a whole lot shakier, man. And we're over speeding. How quickly things can change, man. Why are we overspeeding so much? This thing is shaking like crazy, man. I actually want to put some flaps in already because We're getting there. And we're going way too fast. So flaps 1. Can't see nothing yet. Alright, now we're losing speed quite hastily. $120, that's what I want. Yes, get under that. That's that overcast, man, that was on the ATIS. How well it was rendered. Huh. Okay, and it looks like we just got out of a storm, man. It felt like once you got below that, it felt like we stopped shaking and everything. It was incredible. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually going to slow our rate of descent. Looking for a visual on the airport, which is over here. It says we're coming in too low. We want to keep it at 1800. Gonna add some speed or else we're gonna stall. We're actually gonna add propellers. And I want a the landing speed. I like to keep it at 100 when I'm on the glide slope. And maybe a little faster now until we see those 2 red and 2 white. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna actually get set up and stable. Gonna add a little bit more power because I'm about to lower the landing gear, and that'll give us drag and that'll slow us down. Looks like we're left of it a little bit, but that's fine. That's fine. Taking a look, one last look here. We need to be at, after the VOR, at a 111 radial. Maybe that's why. And at this point, I think I'm actually going to hand fly ourselves down. There's 1 white, I think. We're gonna disengage the autopilot. And we'll put on the rest of the flaps. And we'll trim. And I need more power. We're fine. Too low. That's 3 red and 1 white. There. I could feel the wind. It's kicking us over to the right. Lovely scenery here. Just gonna get up a little bit. That's 3 red, 1 white. I'm too low. Gonna add a little smudge of power. Landing gear is down. Yeah. Prop sinks off. Forgot to do that. It's pushing us, man. Three white, one red, too high. Still too high. Just still too high. Took off a little bit of power there. Got plenty of runway. We'll should be fine. Should be fine. Just fly it onto the runway. Just fly it on. Just fly it on there. Reduce power. Keep it. Keep it. Raise the nose. Not too much. Reverse. Flaps up. Ooh, that wasn't that bad. Almost came to a crawling stop there, which I didn't want to do. But that wasn't bad at all. But it's just nice around here. See where the next exit is. Did I pass it? Like. Oh, there should be one up here to the right. But yeah, there's a couple of things I forgot to do there. Fuel pumps, I think, was one of them. And I totally forgot to, the prop sync to turn that off. I'm not seeing an exit. Yeah, there's no exits here, man. Wonder if there's a problem with the scenery. I'm really liking the vibe of the clouds and the light in the sky. You can really tell, you know, when it's that time of day. there it is. There's like one, this whole airport has one exit. Really hard to see as well. Yeah. So we're going to turn on the taxi lights, turn off the landing and the strobes. And we'll make ourselves over to a parking ramp. Slow down. Follow the yellow brick road. And we're just gonna leave it there at the end. It's good enough. Right? Because where the hell does this thing take me? We'll just leave it here. That's fine. Parking brake on. I'm gonna turn off the avionics. Cut off the mixture that should stop our engines. Turn the battery off and we're good to go. And that was the flight, guys. Thank you so much for watching, those who watched live, and thank you for those who will watch this video in the future. I hope it's helped them out a bit. You know, I know things could have been smoother, especially at the beginning with the whole turning on the engines and stuff. I messed up there. But hopefully it gave you a bit of an insight on navigating with radios and you know, setting up a route with SIDS and stars, and maybe you got to see how that worked and you weren't really you know, you were seeking knowledge about that. So I hope it's helped you out there. If you like this video, please give me a like, and please subscribe. If I see a lot of subscribers, you know, I'll start making more of these. If not, then this is not for me. But you know, if I see some activity and, you know, depends on the comments and stuff, then maybe I'll get motivated, and hopefully the next one will be better, and I'll be a better host as well. So with that being said, good night everyone, until next time.